Next sponsor from Frontline, driving excellence for frontline teams. Learning from 50 plus retail companies, Susanna Jacob, co-founder and head of product Frontline.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Susanna, and today I would like to extend a thought that was initially shared in the first panel discussion where Mr. Biju Kurian was the moderator. So he spoke about something where businesses today have to become an institution, and institutions are on a journey to become a legacy. So we work with organizations such as these. Some of them are already institutions and are now trying to become established brands. Some of them are businesses who are trying to become institutions. And we've had a lot of learnings working with them. And we work with them mainly in three key pillars. The first one is through our learning module, where we ensure that product knowledge is something that they're able to build and retain. Processes, which we spoke about in both the panel discussions and the importance of it. Our auditing module helps build and maintain process consistency. And customer experience, like again was talked about on the panel multiple times, is something that most of our features come together to ensure that there is effective customer experience. So the learnings that I'm going to share with you today are some practical insights that we figured out with working with so many organizations, 50 plus, like it was mentioned in the introduction, right? So the first learning that we'd want to talk about is, if I tell you that there is a relationship between product knowledge and sales, you will tell me that that's a very obvious or logical assumption. Because if your employees have product knowledge, only then will they be able to make a sale. And that was true, and that's what most of our customers also felt. However, and something that also happened is that we are able to ensure that because of good product knowledge, the customer feels that the brand is trustworthy and they're reliable, and that trust somehow converts itself into a sale. But what customers found very interestingly is product knowledge is okay, and when they dug a little deeper, they found that product mastery is what drives sales. Because product mastery is when you use the product knowledge that you have from the various sessions that you attend and convert that to different conversations for different customers. For one customer, it might look like suggesting a complementary product that they want to buy. For another customer, it might look like introducing a premier version of what they're already looking at. To be able to make that differentiation is what makes a difference for the sales. Now, how do we know this? How did we come to this? We work with organizations where through our platform, they have access to both the learning data as well as data from their POS systems, because there is an integration that is possible. Because of this integration, they're able to very quickly pull out the layers to say what is actually working in my stores that drive my sales. And once, yes, product knowledge was something that everybody spoke about, but once product mastery was found out based on layers and layers of data, they said product mastery is the goal with where all employees need to go. It's not enough that you just know what a product is. You should be able to recommend that product to various customers very differently. Some of the learnings that you're going to hear from me today, or the next two ones, they're all internal initiatives that you can build in your organization to complement your external initiatives. There are a lot of initiatives that you might do externally to your organization to build sales, to ensure good customer service. The ones that I'm talking about is something that you can hone internally and then see what it can do to your organization. The second learning that I'd like to share is how compliance ensures customer satisfaction. Compliance, again, was spoke about quite a bit in the first panel discussion, where they spoke about the importance of having good processes. So compliance is nothing but the degree to which a store outlet or a brand outlet is able to align their processes to what the company expects. And we found that compliance ensures customer satisfaction because it is a consistent offering that all your brand outlets can give to all customers, irrespective of the region, irrespective of the city. So whether the customer interacts with you online or they interact with you offline, they know that they will have the same customer experience because there is a consistent brand offering across all stores. The second thing compliance helps with that we found from our learnings is the fact that you can be very proactive in your response. What I mean to say is a lot of our customers measure these compliance metrics almost daily. And because of this, they're able to foresee if there's something that's going to come up in terms of equipment failure, in terms of customer being an angry customer and so on, and they're able to foresee these situations, and they're able to, sorry, we jumped a couple of slides there. Yeah, then they're able to plan for it now. They're not waiting for an incident to happen in a store, for the AC to break down, for the equipment to stop working. They're not waiting for those things. They already know, and they make sufficient plans to cater to those instances. Again, how do we know this? So we work with customers who track a wide range of compliance metrics. So they're tracking things like store opening and closing. They're tracking end of day finance and stock audits. They're doing kitchen operations. They're tracking how much inventory is available in the store, food safety audit, health risks audit, and all of these metrics culminate to give them enough insight to figure out what do we have to do. A very interesting use case that one of our customers do is they track every percentage of compliance, because they're saying if the compliance percentage goes down even by 1%, that means somewhere in some store, some customer will not have the brand customer satisfaction that they want them to have. And if the compliance goes up by 1%, they study that even more because they want to understand what is it that led to this 1% adherence that can give a great customer experience to everybody else? Can we replicate that? So that's the second learning we've had, where compliance can ensure that you have good customer satisfaction every time, irrespective of the region, irrespective of the store that you belong to. For the third insight, if you look at the jigsaw puzzle on the slide and I ask you, do you think the piece in the middle is the only piece in the puzzle? Or is it one that is the only piece in the puzzle, or is it the missing piece in the puzzle? Some of you might look at it and say, okay, it's the missing piece. And some of you might think, okay, it's the only piece in the puzzle. That feeling of uncertainty that you have within you is what certain employees in the organization might also feel, because they might not be certain about what is their role in the organization. They're becoming very uncertain about that. And so we found that through transparency, being very transparent about what is the career growth of your team member in your store ensures that you have committed employees. Now, why is committed employees very important? Like I think Mr. Vikrant just talked about, it's very important to treat your customers right. And if you want to treat them like our better halves or our siblings, they should have the mind space for it. Otherwise, they're going to be thinking of things like, when am I going to get my next pay hike? Am I going to get my sales incentive? Those are things they're thinking about, and their mind space is kind of boggled down by that. But committed users, when they know the transparency in the organization, they have a goal-driven behavior. They know that if in my organization, I need to become a store manager, or if I know I can get a pay hike if I do these 10 things, they know that's the goal they're working towards. So their mind space is no longer bogged down by my pay hike, my sales incentive, and so on. That's the power of what transparency, simple transparency in the organization can do. And because of this, what you will have are brand ambassadors. You will have employees on the shop floor who embody the values that you talk about in your organization. It's no longer something that you have to keep telling them over and over and over again, saying excellence, quality, hygiene. They will embody it because they have become brand ambassadors of your organization. So whether that's in the process, whether it's in treating customers right, they will do it in an intrinsic manner. They don't have to be forced to kind of do this. And again, how did we come about this insight, right? So we work with one organization specifically, where they had a very clear-cut plan to say on 2 parameters. The first parameter is to say if anybody joins the organization, from day 1, they know what they have to do. The first week could be product knowledge. The second week could be learning about the values. But everybody in the organization knows what needs to be done. They were that transparent. And this helped them with their scaling. So when they open new stores, they don't have to worry about how am I going to train my users? How do they know what to do? their process kind of takes care of it. And that's the one that they've implemented. Together with this, they made a very strong rewards and recognition program. They told, and it's very transparent, so they told their employees, if you reach this number, you're going to get an incentive. It was as simple as that. Now, this could be complex. It could be very rare for somebody to get it, but it was transparent. So this ensured that the employees always knew what is it that they have to achieve. And even if they failed and they didn't get that incentive, they knew what they had to do better. And that is the power of transparency when we're looking at what is it that it can do to ensure commitment of employees. And we've seen committed employees are going to be the flag bearers of customer delight. They're the ones who are going to ensure that your customers have a delightful experience when they walk into the store. So with that, those are the 3 values or 3 learnings that we've had working with various customers at various stages of growth. All of them are aligned to product, process, people, because you will see that being talked about in a lot of retail specific industries, because it is something that works for us and is available for us to dig deeper into. So if you have any questions on this, you have certain ideas you'd like to explore, feel free to come by our booth. We are booth 1 right at the entrance, and we'll be happy to talk to you and explore collaborations. So once again, my name is Susanna. I'm the co-founder of Frontline, and thank you for your patient listening.